Page 22. At about 10 o'clock, a group assembled in the wooden shanty, far different from that which had been there 3 hours before. First, Semenchikin, the superintendent, arrived. Then came Mr. Harris, the American specialist consulate, with his interpreter. Then Tishenko, the burly, sinister prisoner specialist. They came into the shanty one by one, unbuttoned their coats, warmed their hands, then set to talking over their blueprints. Mr. Harris produced a package of fat Kuzbas cigarettes from the special foreigner's store. He passed them around with a smile. No one refused. Kolya, who had just come in, got in on it too. Well, said Mr. Harris, though this taciturn interpreter, when do you expect to get the rest of the riveting done up on top of number 3? They were telling me about this new time limit. The whole top is to be finished by the 25th. That's 10 days. Tishenko, the chief engineer, convicted of sabotage in the Ramzin trial, sentenced to be shot, sentence commuted, now serving 10 years in Magnitogorsk, shrugged his shoulders. He did not speak immediately. He was not a wordy man. He had been responsible engineer for a Belgian company in the Ukraine before the revolution. He had had a house of his own, played tennis with the British consul, sent his son to Paris to study music. Now he was old. His hair was white. He had heard a great deal of talk since 1917 and had decided that most of it was worthless. He did his job systematically, without enthusiasm. He liked to think that he was helping to build a strong Russia, where life would one day be better than it was for his son in Paris or his sister in London. It certainly wasn't yet, though. Mr. Harris looked at Tishenko. He understood the older man's position and respected his silence. Still, he was a consulting engineer being paid good American dollars, being supplied with caviar in a country where there was little bread and no sugar, to push Magnitogorsk through the completion on time. He pressed the point, and Tishenko finally answered slowly. A riveter froze to death last night. Cold and malnutrition. This morning 4 of the girls we have heating rivets didn't show up. 2 of them are pregnant. I think it's cold up there. The compressor is working badly. He stopped, realizing it was all beside the point. If he said that the job would be finished by the 25th, he was a liar and a hypocrite, and Mr. Harris would be perfectly aware of it. If he said that it would take longer, he was sabotaging the decision of the Commissioner of Heavy Industry. He was already under sentence for sabotage. He looked out the dusty window. It'll take at least a month, he said. That is just about my opinion, said Mr. Harris, but certain things will have to be done, and done immediately, or it'll take much longer. They got out their blueprints and their pencils and discussed in low, serious voices the steps necessary to ensure the completion of the top of number 3 in triple the allotted time. Semenchkin looked on. His attitude was partly one of respect, partly disdain. These bourgeois didn't understand Bolshevik tempo. They didn't understand the working class. They did understand blast furnace, though, much better than he.